Welcome to Rare Coins Value. Today we're discussing the 1976 U.S. Roosevelt dime, a small but historically meaningful coin from the post-Vietnam and bicentennial era. Many collectors ask whether the 1976 dime is rare, what it's made of, how valuable it can be, and what features define it. Expert. While 1976 dimes are generally common, they hold significance because they come from a period of major political, cultural, and economic change in the United States. With no special bicentennial design on the dime, unlike the quarter, half dollar, and dollar, the 1976 Roosevelt dime maintains its classic portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Yet variations in strike quality, mint marks, and condition can create notable differences in collector value. Interviewer. So even an everyday coin can have deeper meaning. Expert. Exactly. A 1976 dime may look ordinary, but it captures a moment in American history, making it a charming and surprisingly educational piece for collectors and enthusiasts alike. The 1976 Roosevelt dime is a coin that, despite its modest physical size, carries with it a blend of historical resonance and numismatic interest tied closely to the social and economic currents of its time. Produced at a moment when the United States was celebrating its bicentennial, the dime stands out precisely because it does not feature any special anniversary design, unlike the quarter, half dollar, and dollar coins minted that same year. This decision reflects both the practical minting constraints of the era and the mint's preference to prioritize only select denominations for commemoration. Consequently, the 1976 dime quietly represents the continuity of American coinage amid widespread national celebration. It preserves the traditional Roosevelt design first introduced in 1946, chosen to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt's leadership and his association with the March of Dimes, a campaign originally focused on curing polio. A typical 1976 dime is composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy, featuring an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The combination gives it its distinctive silvery shine while retaining durability suitable for daily circulation. The obverse side displays the left-facing profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, sculpted by John R. Sinek, whose initials, J.S., appear subtly near the neckline. Just above that portrait lie the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date, 1976, accompanied by a mintmark that indicates the coin's place of origin. Either Philadelphia, no mintmark, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. The reverse side depicts a torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch representing strength, along with the United States of America, E pluribus unum, and one dime. These elements collectively express the nation's aspiration for freedom, harmony, and endurance during a period marked by Cold War tensions and shifting political landscapes. The mintage of 1976 dimes was significant, with hundreds of millions produced, making the coin generally common in circulation. However, collector interest can increase for examples that possess certain traits, such as sharp strikes, strong luster, full bands on the torch FB, or particularly well-preserved surfaces. Coins from the Denver Mint can display distinct strike qualities compared to those from Philadelphia, and proof versions minted in San Francisco often exhibit mirror-like fields and frosted devices that appeal to numismatists who favor aesthetic detail. Although the average circulated 1976 dime retains only its face value, uncirculated or proof coins graded by professional services can fetch higher prices depending on their condition, rarity within high grade populations, or the presence of unusual die characteristics. One interesting aspect of the 1976 dime's history is its association with the broader context of inflation and economic stress during the 1970s. As the U.S. economy wrestled with rising prices, energy crises, and shifting financial policies, coinage played a subtle yet important role in everyday American life. The copper-nickel-clad composition was introduced just a decade earlier as silver became too expensive for widespread use in circulation coins. Thus, the very metal composition of the 1976 dime reflects a strategic economic adaptation, connecting the coin not only to political events but also to the realities of resource management and industrial change. Each dime that passed from hand to hand during that era served as a miniature artifact of economic transition, silently documenting a period when both global and domestic pressures shaped even the smallest units of currency. The artistry of the dime is often overlooked because of its size, yet its miniature design is a study in compact symbolism. The balanced alignment of the torch and branches demonstrates Sinek's skill in fitting meaningful imagery onto a tiny canvas without overcrowding it. The reverse design's trio of symbols, liberty, peace, and strength, work in harmony to reflect national ideals, while Roosevelt's portrait offers a straightforward, dignified representation of leadership. In high-quality strikes, the portrait's hair detail, the lettering's sharpness, and the torch's vertical lines all display a precision that is satisfying to collectors who appreciate craftsmanship. In circulated pieces, however, wear tends to appear first on Roosevelt's cheek and hair, as well as the high points of the torch, making these areas key identifiers when assessing a coin's condition. For collectors, the 1976 dime serves not only as a collectible item but also as a gateway into understanding mid-20th century American coinage. Its consistency in design from 1946 to the present day has created generations of familiarity, allowing the public to recognize the dime instantly without special knowledge of numismatics. At the same time, the coin's long-running series invites deeper exploration into varieties, minting techniques, and production changes over the decades. While the 1976 issue does not include dramatic errors on the scale of some other years, occasional die cracks, off-center strikes, and minor planchette flaws can still occur and inspire interest among those who enjoy the hunt for unique anomalies. Even without major rarities, the 1976 dime remains a beloved part of many date and mintmark sets, appreciated for its blend of accessibility and historical relevance. The cultural environment of 1976 adds another layer of depth to the dime's story. As Americans celebrated 200 years since the nation's founding, patriotic energy surged through parades, educational programs, and commemorative releases. While the dime carried on unchanged, this very continuity became a symbolic thread that linked the country's financial system to its long-standing traditions. It also highlighted the mint's cautious decision-making, choosing to reserve special one-year designs for select denominations while maintaining others for the sake of stability and practicality. In this way, the 1976 dime embodies both preservation and progress, unchanged in appearance yet deeply embedded in the historical moment of its creation. Holding a 1976 dime today transports collectors back to an era defined by political turnover, shifting alliances, and evolving cultural identity. Whether discovered in a family drawer, received as change in a store, or obtained from a coin dealer's tray, the dime invites reflection on how ordinary items can capture extraordinary stories. Its value may seldom rise above its face amount, but its worth as a cultural artifact is undeniable. Each coin is a small reminder that history often hides in plain sight, carried quietly in pockets and purses through decades of change, waiting for someone to pause and recognize its significance. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more detailed coin history.